Well, hello, welcome to week 50, and I'm much better this week. Um, I'll explain in a minute why I didn't do an update last week, but first let's do the numbers. So this morning I got on the scales and yay, I've got below the 65 mark. So it's like a milestone, I should say. When you get to 70, you're like, yay, or when you get below 70, you're yay, and then when you get below 65, you're yay. And I'll be yaying again when I'm 60 something. So that'll be good. So I'm 64.9, so only just below that 65 mark, but that's great. So that's a loss this week of half a kilo, which is brilliant. And it is this week because last week I didn't lose anything. But I'll cover more about that in a minute. So that's a 1.1 pound loss. So I'm currently 37 kgs a total loss so far, which is 85.5 pounds, which is great. That's really, really good. Last week I didn't have any loss at all. I wasn't feeling very well. As you know, the previous week I had this throat thing going on. And I also had that week, which I didn't mention in my last vlog, was I had quite severe pains here underneath my sternum and underneath my ribs. And I had that developed while I was on the airplane coming home from the UK. And it sort of went away. I had it for 2 days and then it went away and then it came back again middle of that week, and it was bad. I can only describe the pain as it was worse than childbirth. It was horrendous. Anyway, cutting a long story short, went to the doctors. She mumbled something about gallstones. So anyway, I went and had a scan, and sure enough, I've got quite a large gallstone, 2.4 centimeters in diameter, and lots of little baby ones keeping it company. Now, some of you out there might say, I'm on the high-fat ketogenic diet, but you don't grow a 2.4 centimeter gallstone in 6 months, which is basically how long I've been doing the keto diet. So I had this gallstone long before I started the ketogenic diet. It's just that it flared up. Now, I've got a theory why it flared up, and because it's been dormant and quiet all this time and it's not really giving me any trouble. I'm totally unaware of it. And I believe it flared up because the latter part of my holiday, I started eating more carbs. I was eating, as I explained in that video before last, that I had, scones and jam. I was eating some potatoes. I even had a cake, and I did eat all that towards the latter part of my holiday. And like I say, the pain started on the plane. It eased off a bit and then it came back and then it eased off and then it really did come back. And I reckon it was just my body dealing with whatever those toxins, if you like, that I was putting in it, and the gallbladder started to play up. Now, I will say I am not in pain currently. I haven't been in pain since that second flare-up. But the doctor has recommended I see a specialist and we have the gallbladder removed, which I'm happy to do because you don't need it. It's another one of those body parts that you can live without. It's inside, you can't see it. So I'm going to have it whipped out. Obviously it's up to the specialist, but I shall speak to the specialist and I'll say, look, I want it gone because I do not want to live through another one of those flare-ups, which I probably won't have now I'm back on the ketogenic diet properly. But I don't want to take that risk because it really was painful. I know the surgery can be done by what I call keyhole surgery. My husband had it done 2 years ago and he came through it quite successfully. Fairly quick recovery. It's nothing like the hysterectomy. It's like a week, and yeah, and you're only in hospital. I think he was in there just overnight, 24 hours. You're back out, all being well, done, dusted. It's gone, no more problems. So I'm going to opt for that. The reason I didn't do the vlog last week was I was feeling sorry for myself because I thought to myself, oh, I just had this hysterectomy. I'm having I will have more anesthetic within probably 7 months of the last lot. It's not good for your body. You don't really need it. But at the end of the day, It is what it is. I can't change it. Other than that, I'm feeling really good. So, yeah, I was just feeling a little bit sorry for myself. Plus, I had that, cold thing going on. I did shift that pretty quick, really, considering my husband's had it for 3 weeks. He's still got it now. He still sounds like he's got the cold. It's in his, up and around this area. And he's got the voice, and he's coughing, and yeah, he's still suffering with it, poor guy. So, but I didn't so well, and I put that down to being on the ketogenic diet. You get over things quicker. So yeah, so that's the whole reason why I didn't do my update last week, and I didn't lose any weight anyway because I was feeling miserable. But yeah, and moving on to that helps me move on to the next subject is, I do believe staying positive and thinking positive, and coupled with some decent activity throughout the day, really does help with weight loss. Because when I sit in my chair and I'm feeling sorry for myself and I'm not being very active, I mean, obviously I take the dogs out every day. I walk at least 4, maybe 6 kilometers a day, walking them out. But I'm talking about not really getting out in the garden, not really, doing anything sort of reasonably active. I just don't lose the weight. I've discovered that, and I need to be much more active, much more doing stuff in the garden, getting stuff done, running around, being off my backside, basically. So I definitely do realise that is a key to my weight loss. I'm not saying it's for everybody because everybody's different, but it's certainly the key to my weight loss. So I'll definitely be doing more activity as much as I can. It is a little bit more difficult now because it is winter, so it's weather permitting, but it's a beautiful day here in New Zealand today. I have got the fire lit, but you can see I'm in a t-shirt indoors because it's quite warm in here, because when the sun comes streaming in, it does get warm. But my husband likes that before he goes to work, 6 o'clock in the morning. We've got no idea how the weather's going to pan out that day. So what I do is I open these double doors and I let some warmth go out in the other parts of the house because there's no heating out there, and it really does help. And another thing that I've decided that works for me is the 1 meal a day. Well, it's sort of 1.5 meals a day for me, because I've discovered that not having anything to eat from 8 o'clock in the evening at the very latest, right through to gone 12 o'clock the next day, definitely helps. And when I do get to that 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, if I can stretch it out, I only have a small amount of yogurt with my homemade granola in it that I made, which is completely sugar-free. It's just nuts and keto-approved seeds, which is pumpkin and chia, and sugar-free maple syrup and coconut oil. I have a little bit of that in it, and if I can stretch, sometimes I don't have it till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If I can stretch it out till then, that's great. Like now, it's I've no idea what the time is. It's 11:30. I'm not at all hungry because I've had 3 coffees. Now, getting on the subject of coffee, I'm minimising my coffee intake down to 3 a day. Might be 4 today because I did have one early. And I am limiting the amount of cream I'm putting in it. I'm starting to measure the cream now. Rather than just going glug, 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 I'm actually measuring it out to 2 tablespoons of cream per coffee. I intend to cut that down to 1.5 as soon as I get used to the taste, and then down to 1 eventually. So, yeah, because I'm finding I was eating too many fats and not enough protein and fibre in vegetables and stuff. So I've got to rectify that as well, which I intend to do over these next coming weeks. So yeah, so then after I have my yogurt and homemade granola, I then have the main meal, which is around 5, maybe 6 o'clock when my husband comes home. He has ketogenic meal, because that's all I'm prepared to cook from now on. I know that sounds a bit harsh. He's at work, I'm at home, but there's nothing wrong with eating the same diet as me. If he feels that, I mean, obviously I give him a much larger portion, and if he feels he wants something else, then he can get it. But I'm not prepared to, cook up potatoes because I'm not going to eat them. So I think it's fair that I don't cook them. and he's quite happy on the ketogenic diet. Like, I've been making some lovely soups. I made a sort of a minestrone soup the other day. He enjoyed that. In fact, he's taken the leftovers for lunch today. And I made a broccoli and cheese soup again. I really like that one, and it is so filling. I mean, I can only manage the one bowl. I do give him bread with that, but I haven't got the really low carb bread, because I save that for me on the rare occasions I have bread, 2 slices, which is far better than the 40 carbs or 50 carbs per 2 slices. So he does get that. So yeah, so that's how I intend to move forward now. Cut down on the fats and stick to the OMAD 1 meal a day, and just have the little snack of yogurt and granola mid-afternoon if I can get away with it. So we'll see how I go. That's the plan for this coming week, and we'll see how it fares out. And once again, I'm sorry I was late answering some of my subscribers in comments, because I only got around to it this morning because I've been busy. But hey, I'll try and get onto that a bit more. And I am thinking about doing a garden video or a orchid video, because I know some of you both have been following both my channels, and I'm getting quite a few spikes, and they're thriving on neglect. So I think this week I'm going to do a video about it. Okay, so I'll catch up with you next week, which will be week 51. Bye.